10 years ago, I made a choice that buried a piece of my heart, and it's been clawing its way back ever since. I'm Mira, and this is the secret I've carried, a weight that's shaped every step I've taken since. If you've ever held a truth so heavy it changed who you are, please like this video or leave a comment so I know I'm not alone. It was 2015 and I was 25, living in a modest suburban house in Ohio with my parents, Ellen and David, and my younger sister, Lily. Our home was a haven, Mom's cinnamon rolls filling the air on weekends, Dad's jazz records spinning softly, the walls lined with family photos from camping trips and birthdays. I was a high school art teacher, guiding teenagers through charcoal sketches and watercolor experiments, finding joy in their messy, earnest creations. Lily, at 19, was a burst of light, a biology major at the local college with dreams of medical school. She'd talk endlessly about becoming a doctor, maybe working in a rural clinic, saving lives one patient at a time. We were close, the kind of sisters who'd steal each other's sweaters, stay up late giggling over bad rom-coms, or lie on the backyard grass, naming constellations we barely recognized. Our parents were our foundation, Mom's quiet wisdom, Dad's corny humor and unwavering support. Life felt like a canvas, vibrant and full, each day adding new colors to our family's story. Lily was our family's heartbeat. Her laugh could pull you out of any funk, her energy infectious. She'd burst into the kitchen, stealing a cookie and dodging Mom's playful swat, or drag me to thrift stores to hunt for vintage dresses we'd never wear. She was dating Tom, a kind, lanky guy from her bio class, and they'd spend weekends hiking trails or studying at our dining table, their heads bent over textbooks. I'd tease her about Tom's shy smile, and she'd blush, saying, "He's just a friend." Mira, though her eyes said otherwise. I was single, content with my sketchbook and my students, not chasing love but open to it someday. Our family felt whole, the four of us weaving a life of small, precious moments. Sunday dinners, board game nights, Dad's terrible attempts at grilling, but beneath that warmth, something was shifting, a shadow I didn't see until it was too late. The first signs were so faint, like cracks in a painting you only notice up close. Lily started missing family dinners, citing late study sessions or lab work. She'd come home past midnight, her eyes heavy, her usual spark dimmed. I'd ask if she was okay, and she'd flash a tired smile, saying, "Just college. Mira, it's a lot." Mom noticed her clothes fitting looser, her cheekbones sharper, and commented gently, but Lily brushed it off. "I'm fine, just running around too much," she'd say. I wanted to believe her, remembering my own college stress, sleepless nights, endless assignments. But the changes kept piling up. She'd cancel plans with Tom, her texts to me shorter, less playful. I found her once, sitting in her room, staring out the window, her biology textbook unopened on the floor. "Lily, talk to me," I said, sitting beside her. She hugged me, her arms tight, and whispered, "I'm okay, just tired." Her voice was thin, like it was holding back a flood. By spring, the signs were impossible to ignore. Lily was pale, her energy sapped. She'd nap for hours, her door closed, something she'd never done before. I caught her wincing one morning, clutching her side as she poured coffee, but she laughed it off, saying she'd pulled a muscle at the gym. Mom and Dad grew worried, their voices hushed as they urged her to see a doctor. After exams, Lily promised, her tone firm. I tried to trust her, but doubt crept in, sharp and restless. Was she just stressed? Or was it something worse? I'd lie awake, replaying her fading smile, her brittle laugh, wondering if I was overreacting. Love makes you hope, doesn't it? Makes you cling to the idea that everything's fine, even when your gut screams otherwise. I confided in my colleague, Emma, a history teacher who'd become my closest friend. Over lunch in the school cafeteria, I spilled my fears. Lily's not herself. Emma. She's hiding something. I can feel it. Emma's brow furrowed, her fork pausing midair. Maybe it's just college pressure, she said. But you're her sister. Push her to open up. I tried, but Lily deflected. Her answers vague, her walls higher each time. I even asked Tom one day, catching him after he dropped her off. Is Lily okay? I said, keeping my voice light. He frowned, said she'd been distant, canceling dates, but hadn't told him why. The more I pressed, the more she pulled away, and the guilt started to gnaw. Was I failing her? Should I have noticed sooner? One evening, I overheard Lily on the phone, her voice low, almost frantic, from her bedroom. I don't want them to know yet, she said. Not until I'm sure. My heart sank, my hand frozen on the hallway wall. Know what? Who was she talking to? I stood there, breath shallow, wanting to knock but too scared of the answer. Instead, I started watching her closer, hating how it felt like spying. I noticed her slipping pills from an unmarked bottle into her backpack, her movements quick when she thought no one was looking. I found a hospital appointment card in her jacket pocket, dated for the next week. No doctor's name or reason listed. My stomach churned, a sick feeling I couldn't shake. Was she sick? Pregnant? Why wouldn't she tell me? Her sister. The one she'd always trusted. The questions consumed me. I'd sit in my classroom after hours, grading papers but staring through them. My mind on Lily. I'd sketch her face absent-mindedly, her sharp cheekbones, her fading spark trying to capture the sister I was losing. I talked to our family friend, Mrs. Carter, who'd known us since we were kids. She'd been like an aunt, always at our holiday dinners, her warm laugh a constant in our lives. Lily's been quiet lately, she said over tea one afternoon, her eyes kind but probing. Is everything all right? I lied, said it was just college stress. But her concern mirrored mine, making the doubt harder to ignore. Then came the night that broke everything open. It was late, past 11, and I was up grading art projects. The house quiet. Lily stumbled through the front door, her face ashen, her hands clutching her stomach. She collapsed onto the couch, her breathing shallow, her eyes glassy. Lily, what's wrong? I begged, dropping to my knees beside her. She tried to smile, but tears spilled down her cheeks. I need to tell you something. Mira, she whispered, her voice trembling. But you can't tell Mom and Dad. Promise me. My heart pounded, but I nodded, my throat tight. She took a shaky breath and said, I have leukemia. I've known for months. The world stopped. Leukemia. My bright, unstoppable sister was sick, maybe dying, and she'd been carrying it alone. I held her, sobbing, as she explained. She'd fainted at school months ago, gone to the campus clinic, and been sent for tests. The diagnosis came quickly: acute myeloid leukemia, but she'd refused treatment at first, terrified of what it meant. I didn't want to worry anyone, she said, her voice breaking. I thought I could handle it. Figure it out. I was angry, heartbroken, but I promised to keep her secret, to be there for her. Inside, I was screaming, why hadn't she told me sooner? Why had I let her hide it? She swore me to silence, saying she'd tell our parents after more tests, when she knew her options. I agreed, but it felt like betraying Mom and Dad, like I was choosing Lily's trust over their right to know. The next morning, I drove her to the hospital for a biopsy, holding her hand as she lay in the sterile room, her face pale but determined. The doctor, Dr. Patel, was kind but direct. Her leukemia was aggressive, and treatment needed to start immediately. Chemotherapy, maybe a bone marrow transplant if she responded well. Lily nodded, but her eyes were distant, like she was already bracing for a battle she might not win. I wanted to shake her, to beg her to fight, but all I could do was squeeze her hand and say, "We'll get through this." Keeping her secret was like swallowing glass. Every family dinner, every moment of normalcy, felt like a lie. Mom would ask about Lily's classes, Dad would joke about her messy room, and I'd force a smile, the truth burning in my chest. I'd catch Lily's eye, see her silent plea to stay quiet, and nod. But the weight was crushing. I started avoiding family time, claiming lesson plans or grading, scared I'd break. Mom noticed, her voice soft one night. "Mira, you seem distant." "Everything okay?" I lied, said work was intense, but her worry cut deep. Was I protecting Lily or hurting everyone? Lily started chemo a week later, and the changes were brutal. Her hair thinned, falling out in clumps she'd hide with scarves. Her skin turned sallow, her energy drained. She'd still put on a brave face for our parents, blaming her fatigue on school, but I saw the truth, her trembling hands, her forced smiles. I'd drive her to appointments, sit in waiting rooms with outdated magazines. My sketchbook closed, my mind racing. Each visit brought grimmer news. Her white cell counts weren't stabilizing. The chemo was taking a toll. Dr. Patel adjusted her regimen, but his optimism faded. I'd hold Lily after each session, her body frail in my arms, and whisper, "You're strong. You've got this." But my voice shook. The secret strained everything. Tom grew frustrated, hurt by Lily's distance. "Is she breaking up with me?" he asked one day, his voice raw. I wanted to tell him, to ease his pain, but I couldn't. I started pulling away from friends, from Emma, scared I'd slip. My teaching suffered students noticed my distraction, their vibrant projects blurring in my mind. "Mrs. Carter called," sensing tension, but I dodged her questions. I felt like a traitor, lying to everyone I loved. I'd lie awake, replaying Lily's diagnosis, my promise, my failure to act sooner. Was I helping her or enabling her silence? I broke down to Emma one afternoon, unable to carry it alone. We sat in her classroom, surrounded by history posters, and I sobbed. "Lily's sick. Emma. Leukemia. She made me promise not to tell, but it's killing me." Emma hugged me, her voice steady. "You're doing your best, Mira. But she needs her family, not just you." Her words hit hard, but they didn't ease the guilt. I started journaling, filling notebooks with my fears. My anger at Lily for shutting us out. My shame for feeling that anger. I loved her so much, but I was drowning in her secret. By summer, Lily's condition worsened. A fever landed her in the hospital, her body too weak to fight infection. I was there daily, sneaking in after work, lying to mom and dad about staff meetings. Lily looked smaller each day, her eyes sunken, her voice faint. One night, she grabbed my hand, her grip weak. "I can't keep doing this. Mira," she whispered. "I'm so tired." I begged her to let me tell our parents, to let them help. But she shook her head. "They'll break," she said. "I can't do that to them." I wanted to argue, to scream that we were already breaking. But she was so fragile. I couldn't push. The tension was a vice, squeezing tighter each day. I was fraying my sleep broken by nightmares of Lily fading. My days a blur of hospital visits and lies. I'd sit in my car after appointments, sobbing, my sketchbook filled with frantic drawings of her face, as if I could keep her alive on paper. I talked to Mrs. Carter again, her warm voice pulling out my fears. "You're carrying too much?" "Mira," she said. "You can't save her alone." Her words echoed Emma's, but I still felt trapped by my promise. The decision came like a blade slicing through fog. I couldn't keep lying. Lily needed mom and dad, even if it broke her trust. I agonized for days, pacing my room, journaling pages of doubt and resolve. I called Emma, my voice shaking. "I have to tell them," I said. She agreed, saying, "It's not betrayal, Mira. It's love." I planned a family meeting, my hands trembling as I sat mom and dad down in the living room, the jazz records silent for once. "Lily's sick," I said, my voice cracking. "She has leukemia. She didn't want you to know." The silence was deafening. Then Mom sobbed, her hands covering her face. Dad's jaw tightened, his eyes wet. "Why didn't you tell us sooner?" he asked, his voice raw. I had no answer, just tears. They rushed to the hospital, furious with me but desperate for Lily. She was angry at first, her eyes flashing. "You promised." "Mira," she snapped, her voice weak but sharp. But when Mom and Dad walked in, tears streaming, she softened, letting them hold her. They promised to fight with her, to be there. For a moment, I thought I'd done the right thing, that we'd be okay. But Lily's body was too weak. The chemo had failed, and her counts were plummeting. Dr. Patel suggested palliative care, his voice gentle but final. 2 months later, Lily slipped away, her hand in mine, Mom and Dad by her side, Tom sobbing in the hallway. She was 20. The grief was a chasm, swallowing everything. I blamed myself if I'd told them sooner. Could we have saved her? Could treatment have worked if I'd acted faster? Mom and Dad were ghosts, their warmth replaced by silence. They didn't blame me outright, but their distance was a knife. Mom's red-rimmed eyes, Dad's clipped words. Family dinners stopped, the house too quiet without Lily's laugh. I'd see her everywhere in the daisies she loved, in the biology books she'd left behind, in my dreams where she'd smile, then fade. I'd wake gasping, the guilt heavier than ever. I tried to move on, but it was like walking through quicksand. I kept teaching, but my lessons felt hollow, my students' art a blur. I moved to a small apartment, hoping a new space would help. But Lily's absence followed me. I dated a guy, Ben, for a few months, but I couldn't open up. And he left, saying I was too closed off. Emma stayed close, dragging me to coffee shops. But even she couldn't reach the part of me that was stuck in that hospital room. Mrs. Carter invited me to dinners, but her kindness only deepened my shame. I'd failed Lily, failed my family, failed myself. I painted obsessively, filling canvases with Lily's face, her bright eyes, her crooked grin, the daisies she'd tuck into her hair. Each stroke was a plea to keep her alive, but it wasn't enough. I journaled, too, pages of guilt, love, and questions. Why had I kept her secret? Why hadn't I fought harder? I joined a grief support group 5 years ago, sitting in a circle of strangers who'd lost siblings, parents, friends. A man, David, shared how he'd lost his brother to cancer and spent years blaming himself. "You did what you thought was right," he said, his voice steady. "Forgive yourself, even if it takes time." His words planted a seed, but I wasn't ready to let go. The guilt followed me through every milestone: birthdays without Lily, holidays where her chair stayed empty, Mom and Dad's strained smiles. I'd visit her grave, leaving daisies, whispering apologies she'd never hear. My parents and I drifted, our conversations shallow, avoiding her name. I felt like I'd broken our family, like my choice had stolen their daughter. Not just mine. I threw myself into work, taking on extra classes, mentoring students. But it was a distraction, not a cure. My student, Clara, reminded me of Lily, bright, driven, always sketching in the margins of her notes. I poured energy into her, hoping to save someone, to make up for failing Lily. 2 years ago, I hit a breaking point. I was 33, staring at a canvas of Lily's face, my hands shaking, tears blurring the paint. I couldn't keep carrying the secret's weight, letting it define me. I talked to David from the grief group, now a friend, over coffee. "How do you let go?" I asked. He said, "You don't erase the pain. You make room for it. Let it be part of you. Not all of you." His words hit deep, and I started to see a path forward, not to forget Lily, but to honor her without drowning. I began therapy, working with a counselor, Rachel, who helped me unpack the guilt. "You kept her secret out of love," she said. "You were honoring her choice, even if it hurt." It was hard to believe, but I clung to it. I wrote Lily a letter, not to burn, but to keep. I poured out everything: my love, my regret, my wish I'd acted sooner, my hope she was at peace. I wrote about the Mira I'd been with her, laughing and carefree, and the Mira I wanted to be: someone who could live fully, even with scars. Last spring, I drove to her grave, the air warm with new blooms. I left the letter under a bouquet of daisies, her favorite, and sat there, talking to her. "I'm trying. Lily," I said. "I'm trying to be okay." The wind stirred, and for the first time, I felt lighter, like she'd heard me. Now, at 35, I'm still healing. My parents and I are rebuilding, talking more, sharing memories of Lily without flinching. We've started small traditions: a daisy wreath at Christmas, a hike on her birthday. I teach with passion, seeing Lily's spark in Clara and my other students, encouraging their dreams. I paint for joy now, not just grief. My canvases bright with hope. Emma and David are constants, their friendship a reminder I'm not alone. Mrs. Carter still invites me to dinner, and I go, laughing without guilt. I'm not whole, but I'm Mira, and I'm finding my way, carrying Lily's light without letting it burn me. The secret broke me, but it taught me to cherish what remains: love, family, the chance to start again. Letting go didn't mean forgetting Lily. It meant choosing to live for her. For me. I'll always miss her. But I'm learning to trust my heart again. One day at a time. What would you do if you were in my shoes? Leave a comment below. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to hear more stories like this.